This story starts on a calm morning when I was working in my garage fixing an old tool chest. The HOA patrol walked straight onto my property without knocking, without calling, without permission. They acted like they owned the place, and I knew something was wrong the moment I saw them stepping across my yard. The so-called leader, Tom, strutted forward like he was sheriff of the neighborhood, demanding I stop what I was doing and hand over my tools because apparently my garage was too noisy for his liking. I told him politely to leave my property, but he smirked and said the HOA had full authority to inspect anything they wanted on any house they wanted. I told him again to get off my land, but he kept coming closer. That is when things changed fast. I saw three more HOA patrol members spreading across my yard, checking my fence, checking my truck, even peeking into my backyard gate. They were trespassing and they knew it. They thought I would be weak, scared, or confused, but they were wrong. I walked into the house, grabbed my shotgun, and came back calmly standing on my porch. I did not aim, I did not threaten. I simply held it in clear view and said the words every trespasser hates to hear. This is private property, leave now. They all froze like statues. Tom turned pale as a ghost and suddenly wanted to talk politely, but it was too late. My security cameras had already recorded every second of their illegal search, and one of my neighbors watching from across the street had already called the sheriff because the HOA patrol was harassing everyone on the block. That day, Tom started yelling that I was threatening them, but I never pointed the gun. I simply stood with it in my hand, reminding them whose property they had barged onto. They slowly backed away, pretending they were the victims, even though they were the ones trespassing. 15 minutes later, the sheriff pulled up, lights flashing. He asked calmly for both sides of the story, but as soon as he checked my security footage, everything changed. The officers immediately separated the HOA patrol and began questioning them individually. You could see the guilt all over their faces. Tom kept insisting they had the legal right to access my home, but the sheriff cut him off and told him not even police can walk onto private property without permission. The HOA patrol had broken the law, and now they were going to pay for it. Then came the part they never expected. The sheriff informed them that trespassing while pretending to have legal authority is a crime, and that multiple neighbors had filed complaints before about their harassment. One officer walked up to Tom, placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "Sir, turn around. You are under arrest." Tom started screaming at me, threatening lawsuits, yelling that I was finished, but he was the one being put in handcuffs. Two more HOA patrol members were detained for questioning as backup units arrived. The whole neighborhood watched as their fake authority crumbled in minutes. But the story did not end there. When I returned home after giving my statement at the station, I found Tom waiting on my porch. His family had bailed him out hours later. His face was red with anger, but something was different. He was not shouting, he was begging. He said the HOA board was blaming him for everything, and that he would lose his position, lose his job, and possibly face more charges if the neighbors kept complaining. He wanted me to drop all charges. He offered apologies, excuses, even money to make me silent. I looked him in the eye and told him the truth. You don't get to intimidate honest people and walk away clean. The neighborhood deserved peace, not fear. Days later, a special HOA audit was launched. The board discovered that Tom had been abusing his authority for years, making up fines, forging warnings, and threatening homeowners to gain control. The HOA removed him permanently and issued an official apology to every resident weeks passed, and the community finally felt free. The HOA no longer harassed people, and a new leadership group was elected, one that respected the law and respected property rights. As for Tom, he faced charges for trespassing, harassment, and impersonating authority. Last thing I heard, he moved out of the neighborhood quietly in the middle of the night, unable to show his face again. In the end, justice won. The neighborhood won. And I learned one thing clearly. HOA bullies collapse the moment someone stands up to them, calmly, lawfully, and fearlessly.